this is Carmen.
So you know that awkward moment when your family is exactly like a soap opera? Yeah, mine is, right? Being from Spain and all, I even get all the hijos de puta and cabrón included there. It's like an exclusive, it's great. But yeah, my family is as big in Spanish as it can get. No, not that kind of big in Spanish, but yeah. But it's really huge, and I never realized how large it was until I attended a wedding where 300 of the 350 guests were related to me. Right? So the thing is that my grandmother has 10 siblings. Yeah, I know, really horny Catholic great-grandparents. But of those 10 siblings, 4 of them are identical women. Like, I'm not fucking with you. They all look the same. So, of course, that time of the wedding comes when you're all celebrating and having fun, and every single time, one of them approaches me. And she'll always be like, "Hi. Remember me? Yeah, last time you saw me, you were this tall. Do you remember me?" And you'd be like, "Totally. Of course I do." And then they hit you with the ultimate wedding torture. "So what's my name?" And you stare at her and be like, "I said I remembered you, not your name, jeez." But after a while, you more or less get through that awkward moment, and then you'll be talking, and then they'll always ask me, "How's gymnastics? Do you still want to study business?" And I don't have the balls to tell them that I left gymnastics 4 years ago and that I moved to Seattle to study math. I might have to go to Facebook more often and update my family, but I'm kind of scared of what could come out of it. But actually my family's great, and weddings are really fun because they all get drunk very fast. As good Europeans, there's so much alcohol. And I discovered that there's a tendency of the males in my family to become really patriotic when they get drunk, right? It sounds great, but when your national anthem doesn't have lyrics, it's just a series of men going, lo, lo, lo. It's not patriotic, it's just sad. But another thing weddings are really great for is discovering long-lost relatives. I'm not kidding. There's always some. My family from the South actually always comes up with lost French cousins. And as a good Spaniard, I just wish they could ooh-la-la their way back up north. But talking about these cousins, one time my dad's cousin almost killed my entire family because he was planning his wedding and writing the invitations. They realized that they were long-lost third cousins. You can imagine that every woman in my family nearly died of a Christian Catholic heart attack. But the wedding turned out great because the women in my family are absolutely politically correct and charming. My grandmother's actually quite a woman. She has gone to Iran by herself lately, so she's scared of nothing. But if a chihuahua walks on the other side of the street, she'll fucking freak out. I'm not kidding. She hates living beings so much that she forgot to feed my uncle's pet iguana for a week and a half and accidentally found it dead a week and a half later. But she's a wonderful woman, okay? She totally is. She always wants everyone to feel welcome. So my aunt, she got divorced a while ago, and she lives in England, so she told the family that she was recently engaged to a 50-year-old Englishman. So she brought her home to Madrid to meet my grandparents, and my grandmother had the great idea to invite everyone for their special occasion. You see, has anyone watched Big Fat Greek Wedding? My family is like that. If you haven't watched it, it's a movie about this girl who's Greek who's getting married to a non-Greek. Terrible idea. And basically the family is just opinionated, loud, always talking, always eating, always dancing, always laughing, just Mediterranean. So my family's the same. And the thing is that 50-year-old Englishmen are as dry as raisins. So you can imagine the scene with my grandmother, my uncles, my aunts, my cousins, everyone. So my little cousin's running around him in circles, probably dizzying the fuck out of him. My uncle making very sarcastic jokes that no one gets. And then suddenly my grandmother decided that the best way to approach the situation was to speak French. Why? I don't know. In her mind, she thought that since French wasn't Spanish, that somehow the English guy would understand it. I would never understand that. But talking about bringing guys home. I recently had my high school graduation. It was great, beautiful ceremony. And then after that, we went to have dinner with my entire family. Of course, we're Spanish. And I invited my 2 best friends because, you know, I wanted to have a little bit of fun. And one of my friends canceled last minute. So I ended up going with Javier. Yeah, that's a guy's name in case you don't know. I showed up to a dinner with my entire family and my best guy friend. My uncle stood up in the middle of the dinner to give a toast, talking about how much he loved the fact that I finally had a good guy by my side. Yeah, it was awful. He turned bright red, stood up, stared at him in the eye and goes, "I'm just a friend." And my uncle looks at him and goes, "Right, yeah you are." But I actually did have a boyfriend a while ago. And you know how I told you how my family's like a soap opera? News run around so fast. Like, I think they knew before I knew. It's like that little kid's game where like somebody says a message at the beginning like, "I want an orange," and it travels around through everyone until it's like, "I'm a gay Asian man in my 70s. So somehow, my grandmother found out that I had a boyfriend, and she like, one day, one of these Sunday dinners, she like got me, took me to the kitchen and sat me down. She stared at me and she goes, "So you have a boyfriend?" I look at her and I'm like, yeah. And she stares me down. In my head I was like, shit, this is the end. This is what they all warned me about. And she goes, "Is he Christian?" I stare at her. I look up, I go, "Please, dear God, I know you aren't there, but if you are, just help me." No. She did not do anything, literally. She just stood up, stared at me for like way too long, and left. I'm not kidding you, she left. And inside my head I was like, yeah, guess he's an ex now. Yeah, but actually, my family's so much like a soap opera that we even have that racist grandmother. My other one, not this one, she hates everyone who's not from Spain, except the French. She likes them. I don't know why. But we were at in the South eating dinner with her. It was my 2 best friends and I, and she kept ranting about how much she hated Chinese and the Moroccan. And as a good Spaniard, I kept my mouth shut because I'm scared of her. But my friend decided that she was going to confront her. So she stood up and goes, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I have not seen my grandmother so shocked since our recent dictator abdicated from Spain. Yeah, but my family is so opinionated that this year, in summer, I presenced a screaming match between my grandmother, my mother, and my aunt about how they should cut my cousin's hair. My cousin is 15. Thank you so much.